Good afternoon, everybody, and how are you two doing? It's afternoon in the West Coast, and it's morning actually in the West Coast, while as on my side of the globe, it's evening. So I thought, let's do these in the evening, and that way they'll be ready for the next day for people. My name is Molly, and I'm also known as Sarah Gamachu, and this is the podcast. And now this is quite a day. It's almost New Year's Eve, and I have been putting so much work into not just my podcast, but my blogs, my Patreon. I discovered that it's easier to just share what you have and then gives you time to work on what's next. It's just difficult because my brain goes fits fritz on it, and it doesn't make it any better. So bear with me the next few days or weeks, or let's look into the new year, shall we? And just take it one step at a time. I took a moment to pause because I wanted to hear what it sounds like so far. And you know what? It's pretty darn good. That's right. I usually substitute my swear words with something a little old fashioned. It's there's just so much to my life that it's unbelievable that I've gotten this far sometimes. You see, when I was a year old, they didn't think I'd make it, but they didn't even think I'd make it past my first birthday. That's sad, but yeah, in the environment that I was in, it was true because child's, the aging process for a child in the 70s was little to none kind of thing. And they're like, well, she's tiny, she's small, better have a big birthday because she's not going to make it to the number two. And look, here I am, 40 some years later. That's right, I said 40. So it's been a long road, and I'd love to be able to talk to you guys about it. One of the biggest things that I have right now is that I'm writing it out. I have to write to let you all know, but my big thing is I want to be a motivational speaker. There, I said it. And that's my goal. My writing is my way of getting into that area because I want to be able to make a difference in the world. It's sad that there's just so much sadness now. I mean, I don't, separate from the whole COVID and everything, it doesn't help the situation. But so many people are so sad and they're just like, oh, I, depression is high, anxiety, stress levels. It's so sad because I speak from experience on this one because just I uh, I admit I was in the hospital for, let's see, I've done it four times in the past since 2013. Yeah, 2013. So I've been in the hospital four times, checking in for some kind of mental breakdown or emotional breakdown, stress breakdown. It was very hard, and one of the reasons I came to Ethiopia was time to just not just clear my head, get back on my medicine, become regular, and just try my best. I mean, really, I use the word try because that's how I talk these days. I said, I'm doing a little bit better today. I'm trying my best. I'm work on it tomorrow, kind of thing. It's hard. It's very hard. I asked someone, I said, what do you think I should talk about? And she told me, she goes, talk about being in the hospital. Talk about how you've been dealing with your mental health. So I said, okay. I mean, why not? I mean, there are a lot of people probably in this position right now. And we have people who are having anxiety attacks for hardest times in life is having anxiety. Anxiety is like the mother and stress is like the father. And then they have a child named depression. And boy, does that make, I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it makes sense to me because I just, when I think about it, when I'm stressed out, plus I get anxious about it, leads down to my being depressed because, oh my gosh, not nobody likes this, nobody likes that. It's not true. I have to tell myself it's not true because honestly, anything can happen and anything can get better each day. And I definitely say yes, if you need to go get help for any kind of mental health awareness, I would do it right away. Call your doctor, call the nurse, call somebody and help you. There is also an 800 line number for the suicide prevention. I'm going to try to remember to put this in the links. And don't let don't let those dark feelings surround you. You've got to find some light. You got to find a bright spot. Try to be, I know, how in the world do you be positive when you actually just can't even think straight? I know. I worked I worked for about a year, almost a year and a half or so, maybe a year and 2 months. I don't know. I One of my symptoms of depression is my brain gets very foggy and I can't remember details. So I usually say I recall or I think this is what happened about that time. So as I was saying, it was a while. I've been working a while and I had an accident which made my already there anxiety much, much worse. I had a hard time talking to people. I mean, I can look people in the eye. That was at least one good news. But the whole thing of just dealing with things like saying hi, how are you? I mean, you being a greeter, it was great. I actually loved being a greeter because people smile when they see me. They're like, "Oh, hi," and I'm like, "Hey," I treat them like an equal. I don't say you're better than me or you're worse than me or whatever. I just treat them like a human being. One of the things they first taught me is that what you need to do is you might be that first person that happens to be seen by that customer. The customer may be in their office holding, doing a lot of paperwork, and hasn't had a chance to get out, get some fresh air until now to get that pint of ice cream or that bottle of juice. Even the energy drinks, they come for that. And I don't blame them. I admit it. I was taking lots of energy drinks, trying to stay awake when I had my evening shifts. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. It is hard. It's difficult. And that's why I write these vlogs or voice blogs because honestly, someone has to say something because there's such a stigma on being a mental health illness, and people shame you. You should be better. You should be able to handle this. And also I'm a good worker, so I couldn't say no. They would call me and they say, "Can you come in?" And I don't even know how many hours sleep I may have gotten before I went in. And I mean, I go in for the customers. I don't care about anybody else, but imagine a customer going to the self checkout lane and they have to look for bananas. It's not like you can easily press a button and there's a banana. No, you have to have a code and be able to press that code in. And if that doesn't work, then you can try to do the pictures thing. But trust me, it's a little bit more difficult than you think. There's codes for everything: bananas, potatoes, not just potatoes, but there's sweet potatoes. And it's just, the list goes on and on. And I couldn't stay home sleeping or doing anything, which I should be resting, when I'm imagining that some of the people check stands are closed because either it's snowing or the weather, whether it's whatever weather that's going on, because come almost like the postal service, come rain and shine, they're here. They are wanting to help you. And that's what I did. Most of 2021, the first part of the year, right before the pandemic began, I was working, I don't know how many hours, but I know I spent a lot of time at the store and maybe half the time at home doing, of course, getting ready to my laundry. I'm washing my thing, washing the apron and making sure that it's clean because appearance is everything. If you look clean and you look smiling and you're happy, the customer will be happy because they can tell that you worked hard to you were there to help them. So, anyway, well, that's all for now. Talk to you later. Bye bye.